Yo, what's up, YouTube? Back another video, and this is what makes CGI bad, which is a question I always have because I don't know if y'all seen that viral tweet from like last week where it was like it's evolved backwards and like CGI looks bad, but I think they're just really misusing it. It's regressed.
Can we ask you some questions?
Superman's mouth, Doctor Strange's eye, MODOK's floating head.
Hold up,
Some questions?
Superman's
did that look?
mouth,
I think that just might be his
Doctor
mouth.
Strange's eye,
That eye didn't look too bad. MODOK?
MODOK's floating head.
I think that looks pretty good. You know what's funny about this? I don't know why people think like the Spy Kids movie or Shockborn Lava Girl like with George Lopez looks better than this. Not really. I think that just the place that he's like in a super duper all CGI, it's like you got a blown up giant head and then like CGI background.
Axel's floating head, exploding Elena.
Axel did look kind of bad.
Ice
I didn't
Skating
watch that
Flash, and
movie.
Black
Yeah, that
Adam
looked horrible.
looking like a thumb.
Black Adam was fine. That's how The Rock looks.
What do all these shots have in common? They're universally ridiculed for having terrible visual effects and CGI.
I never
But
watched
have you
this
ever
movie.
stopped to wonder why? In this
I don't think the Doctor Strange eye looked bad.
video,
Y'all
let's
not
look at
messing
some
with the
of the
eye?
most infamous shots in DC and Marvel movies and analyze exactly why they stuck out so much.
You're not
Let's
wrong with
break
the
them
eye?
down, fix them up, and by the
Oh,
end
so
of
he
it
was
all,
actually running
maybe
slow.
Get to the bottom of the age-old question: what makes CGI bad?
But this is an age-old
First,
question.
let's start with Superman's
How you
mouth.
feeling?
It baffles me to this day why DC chose to put their most glaring visual mistake at the very start of the movie. You see, Henry Cavill had already finished filming Justice League, but when DC wanted him back for reshoots, he couldn't shave off his mustache because Mission Impossible Fallout wouldn't let him. So DC
Oh, never mind. Y'all mouth watching that
had the
hard?
impossible task of recreating the entire lower half of his face. Compared to this, creating a supervillain like Steppenwolf is easy, since he's already fully CG. It's also straightforward to create a living, breathing CG human. But the moment you start to mix the top half of something with the bottom half of something else, you're gonna run into problems. Because human faces are the one thing each and every one of us sees on a daily basis. Now, I'm
I
not
see.
looking at Henry Cavill every day. But a quick
Exactly.
image search brings up all these pictures, and right away, you can see that he has this huge smile. But here, they never let him smile all the way. He rests in this in-between place, never committing and just freaking us out.
Oh,
honestly.
I see.
It's
They're
too
like
blurry,
he's like
washed out, and a little red. Just to experiment,
got a little
let me bring
twitchy.
one frame into Photoshop.
I see
All
how
I'm
y'all
doing is
feeling.
sharpening
That
the
is kinda
upping the
iffy.
contrast and shifting the colors. Even though the lip shape still isn't right, already it looks a little more integrated. So how did this slip through the cracks and end up on IMAX screens?
I'm
all
not
over
even
the
gonna
world?
lie.
Well, poor
I've
planning-
watched that movie like twice and I never noticed that. I think it's cause like I'm like he said, I don't know. Maybe it's cause I'm black and I never look at a white man's lips like that. But like white people really don't have lips to be looking at in the first place. So like I'm not gonna be like, oh, his lips look small. White people have small lips. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say I know what you are, but
a rush deadline.
That's
and
sus.
DC
That's all I'm
biting off
saying.
way more than they
Niggas
can
being
chew.
mad his lips
Now
don't look
on to
perfect is
2021's
crazy.
Black Widow. It's a bold move, making an entire movie about a character who already died in another movie 2 years
It's a
earlier.
prequel.
Is bold the right word? But the one shining light
no.
was the fun new
I think
addition
maybe
of
ironic.
Yelena Belova.
She's in the Thunderbolts, I
And when she
believe,
wasn't
right?
talking about pockets for hours, she was spunky,
Pockets.
sassy, and stopped the sinister soldiers with the ultimate self-sacrifice.
Wait, she died?
Now, this can be broken down into two
Yeah, that
parts.
look bad, no
The
cap,
first
that
is
look
the
bad.
painfully obvious blue screen. It's great when you have a physical set to shoot on that the actors can jump around in. But when a location is just too far, too expensive, or too fantastical, we
Too
need
fan-
green and
that
blue
was-
screen to create that vision. So what went wrong with these shots? Well, let's break it down into layers.
A blue
The
screen? It's not green
background
screen
is
no
a
more?
blue, cloudy sky. Then there's some black smoke, Yelena on top of that, some embers floating by, and finally, more black smoke on top of everything. And it's that final layer of smoke in the foreground that ruins the shot. It only reads
Oh,
on screen
actually,
over
yeah.
Yelena, so she just turns super dark and muddy, and it
Oh,
leaves
okay.
behind an obvious edge that looks unnatural.
Oh.
You might say, come on.
It looks
no one's
super
doing it
duper green
backwards.
screen.
But
Okay.
watch what happens when I shrink the shot down. It looks even more cut out. The second
Yeah.
part of all this is the idea that a person can just peacefully blow away like a Forrest Gump feather from a raging explosion. This is
Okay.
what should have happened to her. Am I right? Of course, I've never stood next to a blazing inferno. Couldn't tell you exactly what would happen to me. But all this shot does is to remind you how there's zero
That does look
stakes,
pretty
how
memey.
Marvel wanted her
Okay.
alive just to plug her into the next Disney Plus show.
She was in the Disney Plus show? Well, the Hawkeye?
Called it. And speaking of things that didn't
I don't know. I
let's
don't
get
think I've
into
watched
Doctor
any of them.
Strange's third eye.
Should I watch the Captain America and Falcon?
For the life of me, I'll never
The
understand.
third
why
eye don't
Marvel
look
did
bad.
this.
Why y'all
Set up a
capping, bro?
cliffhanger in the mid-credit scene, just to resolve it in the post-credit scene. But I
Y'all not
will
rocking
admit,
with the third
the
eye?
here
The Eye of
is probably
Agamotto.
the least offensive on this list.
Oh
Why?
God.
Because on a technical level, it works. If you were
Exactly.
to pause at any point and zoom into the eye itself, it looks identical in color and sharpness.
That's
to the
what I'm
other
saying.
two.
Why are
Remember,
we y'all
as he
too?
ducks out towards the end, the motion blur matches on every frame. The eye sits on his face in a way Superman's upper lip never could. Sure,
Exactly.
there's no eyebrow,
This look
which is the
good,
main
bro.
thing throwing me off. Would it look better with an eyebrow? Oh, kind
No,
of. It makes me think
no,
of
because
Fallout,
then
when
you
we
need
meet this guy for
movement.
the
So
first
no,
time,
don't
who,
even
due
try
to
it.
random mutations throughout hundreds of years, ends up with one eye. To see the process they went
But he
through
got-
to make this
he-
visual effect work, it's obvious that they approached it technically in all the right.
But he got two eyebrows, so it don't work. I'm telling you. You think about this. Think about the way the eyebrow muscle conjoins with one eye. It just wouldn't work because you have a left and a right eye. You see how? Like let's just do a small. You feel me? Look. You see how it reaches up high, but you see the way the eyebrow curves. It curves towards with the edges are on the outer. So the right eyebrow points like right, and the left eyebrow points like left. So if you had a unibrow, it'd just be like this, and then it'd go like this. You wouldn't be able to show any emotion because they center to the middle. But there is no middle when you are the middle. So it would just go up and down. That's what I'm saying. Unibrow only works because there's two brow muscles. If there's one muscle, like a lip, it just moves up and down. Like the bottom lip goes up and down because there's no left lip and right lip. This is top and bottom lip. So it would literally move like how your jaw moves. It just go up and down. Which that's just not cool. That's just not cool. So just remember that anytime you think, oh, how would one eyebrow work with one eye? Just go up and down.
And as viewers,
You look angry, it would just be like
to admit that there's a
super
difference
close.
between bad CGI
It would just sink
and
in.
CGI that just didn't work for me. After all, it's a comic book movie. People flying everywhere, giant monsters running around, and a little eye on a forehead gets you mad. So is this bad CGI?
No,
Not really. Does it take a
it's
little
just
time to get used to?
D-Riders.
Yes,
Not at all.
absolutely. But after
It's
Multiverse of
just
Madness,
CGI.
the piggies were eating good because Love and Thunder released
Exactly.
just 2 months later.
It did?
And
Oh,
the
did you
one
remember
thing
that?
people absolutely hate,
We went to see this
besides
one.
the Screaming Goats, of course.
Yeah, I wasn't too much of a fan. I mean, I like goats, but I feel like they were just like overused.
Sorry to do that to you.
The
I
gag
know
was
we all
pretty.
still have GTSD. The one thing that people brought up as the worst example of CGI throughout the whole film
Really?
happened here.
Oh, you know what's crazy? The movie was happening so like fast. I didn't even know this was that bad. Like that's what I'm saying. When sometimes y'all just like over sync on stuff. Like I will understand if it was like you were playing Marvel Rivals and like you got hit with that horrible Jeff hitbox like 6 times in 10 minutes. I could understand that. But you watched this movie once and you didn't see this until you got on the internet and seen a whole bunch of people like, oh, this is bad. Oh my goodness, the black dude looks like he's not there. He's supposed to look like he's there. Like, come on, bro. Y'all niggas gotta do something productive with your life. How about you go figure out how to fix it then? The niggas who learn how to fix it, I let them niggas judge. But the niggas who be like, this shit look bad, and they be like, how you fix it? I don't know. I don't CGI. I'm like, all right, bro.
I'm Astrid. I'm now known
Just
as
another
Astrid.
number.
If you were lucky enough to watch this movie in theaters,
You did
might
notice.
have caught Marvel's first attempt at this effect. But as they often do, they redid the CGI
Oh.
for DVDs and Disney Plus.
Okay, that's why. Okay, okay. It's adding up. Cause I was like, bro, I didn't even care. It didn't look that bad, and it wasn't. You go, okay, bad.
If you compare the two, you'll see that with months to fix it, all they did was add a smudged out yellow aura around him and crank up the chromatic aberration. For those of you unaware, chromatic aberration is what happens when a camera lens can't focus all colors of light to the same point, resulting in areas of an image where we see red, green, or blue outlines. In almost every visual effect throughout comic book movies and TV shows, you'll always
They
see
honestly
in
should
some
just gave him like an
way,
Adam
in
Moore like
small
golden
doses,
glow and called it
works.
But
It's pretty much the only thing they rely on. That's where things fall.
I don't
flat.
think that looks
And
bad
the
either,
fact that
though.
This entire
This is
effect
an astral
exists
projection.
Simply to have this back and forth about the name Axel.
Axel.
Astrid.
Axel.
Astrid.
Axel.
You got time for this? Aren't you locked up in a cage? In space? How are you all breathing, by the way? The shame here
'Cause they're
lies in how great Love and
Asgardians.
Thunder could have been. Like for the shadow monsters on
They're
the Black and White
aliens,
planet,
buddy.
did you know they had kids draw what scared them? And then the CG team recreated lifelike versions of them? I'd watch an entire movie just about these guys. There were good ideas being thrown around, but a few shots could have
That
used
was
a little
good.
more time in the oven. Or maybe floating heads were never meant to look right. Now let's
Exactly.
check in with
It's a
Black
floating
Adam.
head.
As the bad guys are getting away, he flies
Y'all
up to
really
catch
think
them,
that-
resulting in this unfortunate moment.
Look at this. That doesn't look bad at all. I think that's exactly how this would look. And why do we even care? Because for the first part, the reason human beings can't fly because you would pop your ears and it would cause the equilibrium in your whole body to like stop working. So like you would literally just be like, you'd be so you'd be so dizzy and everything.
I always think of Casper, where Bill
just
Pullman
wouldn't even
uses
be able
a
to
plunger
walk.
on Stretch's nose. Same energy. The problem here is that the whole movie is trying to sell you on the idea that Black Adam is bigger than life. His backstory, his introduction, all these shots where we see him hovering like a savior, they want you to think of him as some mythical figure akin to the Greek gods. But even though this entire sequence does take place high in the clouds, when the director pointed the camera straight at The Rock's face, it made him look a little less imposing. And if that wasn't bad enough, he's also changing the focal length, warping the perspective, and emphasizing the disconnect between head and body. You can imagine they really wanted this to be a badass moment, but unfortunately, it had the opposite effect. And
I
then he
mean, yeah, we
catches up,
meme it,
smashes
but
the
like
hook
I
up,
don't think it
plummets
looks
into a
bad
field, totally
at all.
unbothered, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think that looks bad at all.
Remember the trailer? That ominous King voiceover where he talks to Scott about making up lost time? That's it.
Yeah. First of all, rehire my nigga Anthony Majors, bro, because yeah, it's Anthony Majors. Edward Majors? No, it's Anthony Majors. Let me make sure I didn't butcher the Black King's name. I did. Okay. My fault, OG. Jonathan Majors. Yeah, my fault, Jonathan.
The serious tone making you think of shooting all the actor for Darren Cross.
That was him.
Corey
That was,
Stoll,
it was Darren
was
Cross.
there.
Darren
He
Cross was
physically on
Modoc.
set.
I didn't even
Instead of shooting
even
all his
peep.
scenes with a big cutout, then trying to use facial capture to graft his performance onto a CGI face. They could have had him do his scenes next to the other characters on set. Then they could have cut out his head, blew it up, and then add all the CGI on top of that. Still would have looked horrible.
Actually, yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it looks any better. I think I do understand that they're like, why doesn't it look just like a big ass face with like
But
little
at least
arms
this would have
and
been
legs?
someone the audience was familiar with, instead of this weirdo. By
Oh,
making him
never
fully
mind.
CG and squashing his facial features down, occasionally forgetting to animate him. But we'll let that slide. We were left with an unrecognizable monstrosity.
That was supposed to be
hard
him?
connect with.
I didn't
On
even peep.
paper, that's probably what they wanted Modoc to be. But by filming the actual actor, it might have been a little less of a distraction. And in a movie with quite a lot of distractions, that would have been great. And finally,
It actually
let's
might
talk
have
about
been. Okay.
2023's
I didn't know that
The
was him.
Flash.
Never mind. They
It's
didn't cook.
tricky bringing this movie up, because while it's pretty much
It's just a
unanimously
CGI.
known for its double-berry deepfakes, the cartoony-looking babies, and CG
The baby microwave
creations of
meme is so
actors they could've
funny.
just shot. Anyway, I thought there was a great underlying story there
Yeah.
about guilt, regret, and making peace with the things you can't change.
They tried to make it a
What people don't
multiverse
seem to
movement
remember,
on some
what they
DC,
do
but it didn't
remember,
work.
though, is this shot.
You know, it's funny. It doesn't look bad once you figure out that's
It
what he's
honestly
actually
seems
doing that.
This whole
It's-
sequence couldn't have been better. So let's go into the many reasons it wasn't. First is the jarring transition of going from a fidgety, and I mean fidgety Barry Allen, to a robotically smooth CG model. I've seen behind the scenes footage of how he actually ran on set. Look at all
Yeah.
the subtle, jerky ways his arms move around. By completely replacing all of that with this, just shows it for what it is. A
Oh.
run cycle animation. And it's not just
Never
a movement
mind.
on a shot, but his texture. Just moments ago, we zoomed in super close to his face, all the imperfections of his skin, the determination in his eyes, to now just a lifeless husk as the camera rotates around. On top of all that, the environment he's running through suddenly becomes super empty. Just look at all the passerby in these shots. Nowhere to be found here. It's a problem the CW show struggled with too, and the Spider-Man games. People just vanish. I get that it's time consuming to create a populated city, but just plant a few hundred colorful blobs here and there. They don't
But no, the reason the movie actually, it's a difference. You got fidelity mode, you got performance mode, and then It's in jiggy mode, and niggas was in performance mode, so that's low key a bad take.
You even have to
I'm
move.
sorry.
The fast camera, noted Kraken, and if they damage
What's
was
the last one you got,
realistic
big dog?
CGI is incredibly hard to achieve.
Realistic CGI, well, realistic CGI isn't hard. It's just I think it's situational. Like the Red Hulk, from what I see, it looks normal. It still looks like the Green Hulk, but like just red. So like people keep memeing saying he looked like a regular white person because white people like fair skinned people get red. So I can see like haha, which he kind of does. Harrison Ford, I think. So I can see it in that. I think it's just like like you gotta understand some stuff wouldn't look realistic, like giant bearded face. That's just gonna look horrible. Realistic. There's just some like a realistic human centipede is gonna look horrible. There's just some CGI realistic things that are going to look bad if they look realistic, and you just have to like come to terms with that. That not everything can be cool. You feel me? It's that simple. Once you come to terms with that, you'll live life a lot easier. So y'all like, comment, subscribe. You feel me? Yo, let me know how y'all feeling. Do we need to watch any more of these? Do y'all like my input? If y'all don't like my input, then why are you watching? Why are you watching this? It's the bigger question. but yeah, y'all like, comment, subscribe, share. On the road to 90 subscribers, I believe. Still, we've been stuck at 88 for like a week or so. It's alright though. Small motion is still slow motion is still motion. Road to 1,100 followers on Twitch. Not Twitch. Oh, my bad. I wish we had 1,100. If we had 1,100 followers on Twitch, we'd probably be an affiliate by now. But no, 1,100 followers on TikTok, and we're on the road to 200 followers on Twitch. We live every day. It's day 318. So come join. We normally are like night owls, so anywhere from like I wanted to say 7, but it's realistically anywhere from like 10 p.m. to like 4 a.m. So you just check in with me, bro. We vibe. We play Marvel Rivals. On the road to Grandmasters. We're trying to be top 10% of the game, bro. That's what we striving for. So y'all like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care.